Hello everybody, welcome into Trackalicious. Tonight we have the Multiclass season finale around Mount Panorama. I am Kuzhterakov. Joining me in the commentary booth is Tyler Morgan this evening. How are you doing, my friend?
Not too bad. Glad to be back in the booth after some time off, doing some other things that are not going to be discussed because we're racing tonight. The track that we're at's not my favorite track, but it's definitely going to cause the most chaos. And with mixed conditions, you can throw lottery balls into a hat and pick one, and that'll be your weather condition.
Yeah, anything can happen. It's been dry in the practice servers. It has been absolutely downpouring. Earlier in the session, it has been pouring. We'll see what conditions the qualifying session brings, but it has been a super tight championship from start to finish, and it is going to end at quite an iconic venue around the mountain at Mount Panorama, with a tight battle between the two Lexis at the front between Neil Kerbel and Sarah Liu, separated by just 14 points going into the final race. We'll go over all of that later on. The GT4 Championship looking like it's going to be wrapped up by Ilpo Ruotsalainen in the GT4 Camaros, but still lots of positions to battle for throughout the top 5 in those GT4s, so certainly lots to play for going into the 8th round of the championship here at Mount Panorama. Let's head to the track where the qualifying session is kicking off. The GT4s, as they have been all season long, have the first 10 minutes of the 20, and their time starts now with Justin Beachley, second place in the championship, first out on track.
Definitely going to be interesting because the track is wet. But if you look, ladies and gentlemen, and we did this with Silverstone, and it's wonderful, weird-ass weather. If you look in the top right-hand corner of your screen, you'll see the minuses by the rain that you are seeing falling. That means that the rain is going to decrease. Now, I think the track will stay wet up until, like, that point. But less rain means less water getting onto the track, which may favor the GT3s over the GT4s. So apparently Kerbel says Sarah Liu is in a Lando North situation. She just needs to finish to win the championship. That, my wonderful championship winning teammate in DRL, is where you are wrong. Kusha, explain.
We'll get to the GT3s later. We got GT4s out on track now. But yeah, it is a pretty similar situation to the F1 thing where Sarah just needs to finish well enough, considering that there is also that drop round in the mix. And here is how the GT4 standings look going into tonight's session. Ilpo Ruotsalainen out on top with 363 points. Hello to everyone joining in. Hello, Doc Milmy, Cicerone. And, oh my goodness, what does that even say?
I'll read it out while
you got that one.
Yeah, I'll get this one.
So second place, Justin Beachley here out on track, going through the Conrad Straight on his outlap. Second place in the championship, and he is ahead of Andres Mostachero in third, ahead of Diego Mostachero in fourth. Then you got Brian DeSantiago in fifth, Dr. Porkchop in the Alpine in sixth, Rally Dushy seventh, Joe Chericola in eighth, Hezzy Thomas in the KTM in ninth, and Pak Hei Kwan rounds out the top 10 of the championship.
Apparently that's Mach Speed. Mach Speed, I have a question. Why is your Twitch name the both longest and weirdest Twitch name I've ever seen in my life?
And why is it not Speed?
Yeah, where's all the E's, man? You know what? I feel cheated.
Hello, Ipswich Chris. Welcome in. Hope you're enjoying the ACC action so far.
You know what? If
and hope to see you out on the track here soon with us. If you just got your sim rig built, good place to join.
If his favorite track isn't Red Bull Ring, he's out. I'm sorry. Just saying.
Just
the reason
saying.
is yes.
Well, with the GT4s out on track, Brian DeSantiago looking to go up the tight mountain section, going through the cutting before the double right-hander at the quarry. There's a little service road to the left there that takes you down to the bottom of the mountain to that quarry. But DeSantiago avoids that and goes into the very quick left-handers at the top of the mountain. Right there is the top, and now it is a downhill battle, a fight with the car, a fight with grip, all the way down through this tight section of the S's and into the dipper. Lots of elevation change there through that part of the track and continuing on down all the way to Forrest's Elbow. Very tricky braking point. The car just wants to lock up as all of the weight gets shifted onto that front axle, but DeSantiago handling it just fine, and now he's just a blast down the Conrad straight. Will he stay flat through the right-hand corner? In the dry conditions, certainly, but yeah, will these wet conditions provide a little bit of a challenge? And he keeps it pinned there, braking a little bit before the 100-meter board and taking it nice and easy into the chase. And with just one corner left, where will Brian DeSantiago find himself in this GT4 field? Justin Beachley goes to the top with a 2:18.5. Brian DeSantiago gets a valid lap on the board, about 4/10 behind Diego Mostachero. Andres Mostachero in the sister BMW goes to second. Fernando Carabete gets a valid lap on the board in third, and Diego Mostachero in fourth for the time being.
It doesn't make me one, like, Sector 3 is Sector 3 I can do. Sector 1 is easy. Sector 2, that's where literally will make or break anything that occurs in this place. What are the betting odds that someone flips their car?
Well, there is a Camaro in the lineup, so it's very possible. No Porsches, no GT4 Porsches at least.
What is better flipping mechanics, the Porsche or the Camaro?
You know, from the videos I've seen, it seems pretty neck and neck between those two.
No, is Kerbal still in the chat? Can he answer that question? Aston, stay on the track, please. Especially in the wets, you really don't want to touch that curb. It will just be a slip. He's like, what? Which is better flipping mechanics, the Porsche GT4 or the Camaro GT4? As we ride on board with Diego. Last time I saw this, the brothers were having a wonderful fight at Hatch? No, it wasn't France.
I believe it was Donington, round number 6.
Planes and all that.
Yeah, there were the planes going by, there were the fans hanging out on the balconies, just watching along. And here Diego also pinned in that Aston GT4. So looking like the wet weather conditions, not wet enough to prove to challenge into that corner just yet. And as he approaches the final corner, will he be able to slot any higher up than 4th place? With drivers around looking to improve as well. Diego Mostachero improves ahead of Andres and goes to 2nd place onto the front row. And here is Andres in the 105 BMW. Where will he go? Brian DeSantiago gets ahead of the 105, and he gets him right back. So the 2 BMWs line up on the 2nd row. Andres ahead of DeSantiago, then Carabete in 5th, Dr. Porkchop in 6th place. Still looking for times from Rally Dutchy and Hezzy Thomas, and there is Tyler Asherle getting on the board in the 665 Camaro.
Yeah, I was about to say, they got time for one more lap. Not Dutchy. Dutchy is going to have just this next lap, and that's it. Hezzy Thomas is running out of time to set a qualifying lap, but that's also not surprising coming from him, as Rally Dutchy will find himself 6th. We're just waiting for Hezzy Thomas to get a wheel at this point. That is the 109.5 of Mostachero in the wall. His qualifying is done. Hezzy Thomas in that KTM is literally just drifting.
That was a crazy save. I was so impressed that that car didn't spin around.
Oh, dude, I cannot imagine driving Bathurst on a controller. I have a hard enough time driving this thing on a wheel. I cannot imagine driving Bathurst on a controller. Never. You imagine driving Bathurst on a keyboard?
Well, that's where we learned about Hezzy Thomas. Bathurst on a keyboard. We've seen it. Now upgrading to the controller, and soon enough he will get that wheel, and we will see some nice and smooth steering inputs on the onboard. Oh my goodness, Hezzy, where are you going, my friend?
That is going to be an invalid lap, and that's going to be his qualifying session done.
Yeah, unfortunately
there's no way his... sorry, folks. There's no way his lap is valid. Like, no chance in the world. Justin Beachley now, I'm surprised the sand has not melted in that beach car, or at least is not mud by now. See what he can do. He's at a 2:18.5. Can he improve on his lap? Yes, he can. He can improve by 0.3. Falling behind him is Diego. Can he improve? Yes, but not enough to catch Beachley. Improves by 0.5. Next behind is Carabrete. Improves to 4th, beating De Santiago. De Santiago has a chance to respond. Will do so. Beats out the 105 and Carabrete for 3rd. Now it's up to Dr. Porkchop. Actually, no. Technically, Ashwell has a chance here. I'd say maybe he gets past Porkchop initially, but then Porkchop re-overtakes him. Oh, I was so close with that being right, but alas, it will not. Dr. Porkchop, I think, will get 1 second in between 1 second of Rally Dutchie's time, but will not pass him. Nope, never mind. Only gains a 10th. And the last one to cross the line will be the 6:21 of Rally Dutchie, ending the GT4 qualifying session. An improvement by 0.4, but no improvement of places. Well, at least Eric's going to be happy Mercedes is on a top spot of pole.
Yeah, he certainly will be happy about that. Beachley, Mostachero. Oh, it was valid up until that point, and again, the top of the mountain sees Diego Mostachero drift wide at McPhillamy Park and invalidate the lap there, just running a touch wide. But Justin Beachley going through Forest Elbow, still on a lap here, and looking to improve his time at the top of the GT4 field. The 704 McLaren of Carabete is on a valid lap, as well as the GT3 field begins to work their way out onto the track for their outlaps. Just finishing out the final corner here with Justin Beachley. Currently sitting in front by about 0.4 of a second, but he's looking to set the benchmark even higher in this GT4 field and improves his time by another 1/10 of a second. And unfortunately, Fernando Carabete invalidating his lap, so that will be the session done for the GT4s.
Well, that was fun. All right, now that we're into the GT3 section of things, Neil Kerbal wants to go kiss a wall almost there, folks. All right, so my championship-winning teammate in TRL has the chance to win and take home the trophy in Track Delicious too, but there are very specific requirements that need to be met first. They're not necessarily requirements, more finishing positions. Neil Kerbal obviously, ideally, would like to finish first in this race. I think he can still come second and have a chance, but ideally, he comes in first, and Sarah finishes, what you say, 5th?
Yes.
Yes. 5th or lower. If it's 5th or lower, Kerbal is crowned champion. If it's 4th, it is Sarah's by 1 point.
So it is very similar, in fact, to the Lando and Max situation where Max needed the win, but needed Lando to have a not so fortunate race in that regard. We know how that one turned out. How will this one turn out between the two Lexis, as Neil Kerbal now going down the mountain for the first time in the qualifying session on a hot lap, handling it just fine. Nice and easy on the power, but yeah, he's getting super close to these walls.
I know Bathurst is just Monaco with walls down under, but like literally Bathurst is just Monaco Australia edition. No one can tell me I'm wrong. Like I'm literally not wrong. As he says, the car randomly just drifted to the left going down the first straight on my last lap. The car doesn't just randomly drift, Hezzy. It's not like your suspension got broken just by turning the car. Alright, what can my teammate do? Or should I say former teammate, as I'm now retired from DRL ACC. 207, alright. What can Sarah respond with? Almost 7/10ths back. And Krenotis loves driving here, and I mean loves driving here.
Yeah, he certainly does. He had the fastest lap in the practice server. And Joshua Warla joining late in the championship, splits the two Lexis at the top in his 47 Mustang.
Well, as it stands right now, Sarah would, if we just went off qualifying results, Sarah still would be the champion.
Holy smokes!
Draven, thank you for the subscription. Welcome back to the podium. 6th time on there. And indeed, unlike Monaco, you can overtake at Bathurst. Kevin Esther, the WEC driver, describes Bathurst as a mix of the Nürburgring and Macau, the street track used for the GT3s and some Formula Series as well.
See, Hezzy, you're right. Whoever thought Bathurst and rain was a good idea has a skewery sense of humor. I wanted it night, wet, and at Bathurst. Now that, my friend, is a recipe for disaster. You can overtake at Bathurst. I mean, does cars going into the wall and you passing them count as overtakes?
Yes.
Does that qualify? But like, that's not like an on-track overtake. That's just you inherit a position because someone decided the wall tasted good.
Oh man, just having a monsoon for 12 hours straight, that would be miserable to do. As still no time on the board here from Cicerone, Kevin Yu, and Mach Speed, but the rest of the grid is going to go through for their second laps. Neil Kerbal goes to the top. Or no, he was at the top, improves his time at the top. Sarah Liu also improves her time, with Joshua Worley unable to improve on his current lap. We'll look to go around once more. Jim Reynolds currently sitting in 6th, got a podium in the last race at Paul Ricard, and will stay 6th for the time being, but still gets a personal best on the board. Needs about 4 or 5 tenths to catch up to Devin Anthony and get a position inside of the top 5. And as we say that, Devin Anthony improves his time about 1.4 seconds clear of Jim Reynolds here.
As he says, racing at night in the rain is just straight masochism. I mean, he's not wrong, but I enjoy it. I enjoy the fun. See what Mach Speed, where's all the E's on this car?
I know, he mentioned it earlier in the voice chat that he got rid of the E's to save our voices, but we like the E's. But I think he was just tired of us mispronouncing it.
Yeah, maybe we didn't do enough E's. Yeah. I think maybe that's the problem.
Yeah, we just never got it right.
The lack of ease is probably what upset him, and I honestly can't blame him there. Mr. Miguel Cesaro in the 666. I swear that car looks like Squid Games or something.
I like it.
I don't mind a bit of eye-catchingness, but this is like almost too much.
It's great.
Like this is,
I love it. Kevin Yu did get a time on the board on his last lap, so he's on the second row alongside Sarah Liu in 4th place. And now can Cicerone get a time on the board? He can, and he moves to the front of the 4th row in 7th place. So that's all the GT3s on the board with at least a valid lap. And now in the final few minutes, this will determine where the drivers can get their improvements. Professor Chronotis across the line. He sneaks up into 3rd place, gets ahead of Sarah Liu and Kevin Yu to be the lead Ferrari on the grid.
Well, that's not... Ooh, almost lost control there. That'll be his final flying lap. Worley, can he put a pin in the plans? Nope, Kerbal will stay ahead, but this is dangerous news for Sarah. She doesn't want to be P4 right now, at least, because she wants to be able to have that buffer. You just realized it's an Aston? Yeah, that's why I'm enjoying it so much. Can Kevin Yu play spoiler and drop Sarah into P5, though? That's the real question. Is he going to have enough time to get another lap in, though, actually, is the real question.
Yeah, he should have a good amount of time to spare before he crosses the line, about 5 to 10 seconds.
Yeah, I was about to say, it doesn't...
Unless there's that, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. Unless that curb had any sort of impact and really dropped the car there. But here, Kevin Yu going through the final corner, trying to get an improvement, and just with about 5 seconds on the clock, he gets across the line. He does improve his time, or no, he does not improve his time. So still 1 lap left for Kevin Yu to try and get past Sarah Liu, the leader of the GT3 championship here, going down the Conrad straight into the chase, trying to set the quickest lap time of the session and potentially move up to the front row. Koji gets across the line in 9th in the 420 BMW. Neil Kerbal up ahead, looking to improve the time at the top, and he does by a couple of tenths. But now it is the championship leader across the line and getting onto the front row ahead of Worley and Professor Chronotis, but they are still on valid laps. They can still spoil the party for Sarah Liu. Professor Chronotis does just that, gets ahead of Sarah alongside Neil Kerbal on the front row.
Oh, maybe Worley can ruin Professor Chronotis' party. At least maybe get past Sarah Liu. He doesn't need a lot of time to do it, but he doesn't find any. Oh, that's good news for Sarah. Finding herself P3, P4 basically at minimum. Even if Kevin Yu finds a time that does beat hers, but he would need 5 tenths from this mountain. That really hasn't been very kind to anybody. However, that is a dangerous position for Sarah Liu to be in front of 2 very well-experienced drivers in Chronotis and a fast driver in Worley. But Kevin Yu, the spotlight is all on you, quite literally. You're the only car on track under the Liqui Moly sign. Down into the final turn, you brake here. Try maybe not to nick that inside curb because it's wet. All the power in the world. And bumps Sarah down to P4 and finds himself leading the second row in P3.
Yeah, and just 1500ths
conditions are wet. We have some
off of the time.
It's wet.
Or 15 thousandths,
Oh, no.
I should say, off of the time by Professor Chronotis. So those 2 Ferraris are pretty evenly matched on pace at the front of the field as it stands. And so will that help Neil in his chances of running away with their lead, or will they get involved in that battle as well. Before we get to the GT3s, here is the GT4 starting grid. At the front, you have Justin Beachley, the man sitting in second place in the championship in the Beach GT number 18 AMG. Alongside him on the front row, Diego Mostachero in the Naps team number 44, Aston Martin, sitting in fourth in the championship. He's lined up ahead of an all BMW second row. Brian DeSantiago leads the way from third in the 777 NPG Racing Purple Machine. Alongside him, Andres in the sister car, the Naps team in the 105, looking to secure a top 3 finish in the championship. Starting from 5th is Fernando Carabete in the KRT 704 McLaren. Alongside him on the third row, Rally Dutchy, the Ginetta, the Ninetail Racing Team 621. Then you've got the Lone Alpine, Dr. Porkchop, the Chop Shop Racing starts from 7th place, in the number 71. With the Camaro of Tyler Asherle, the V8 Racing 665, starting on the 4th row. And last but not least in the GT4s, Hezzy Thomas unable to get a qualifying lap on the board. Hopefully no steering issues in the 50-minute race ahead. The 59 Dog Box Racing starting from 9th. And over to Tyler for the GT3s.
All right, so here we go, folks. We got Neil Kerbel in that Lexus covering the wonderful pole position. He hopefully won't have any spray in front of him that he's dealing with. He'll be sending all the spray behind. The track is wet and it is raining. In P2, we have Professor Cronotis in his number 42 machine. And so that completes the first row. Kevin Yu is now in P3, the number 95. And currently in still championship winning position, the last championship winning position she can hold on to right now. Sarah Lee is going to sit P4. I'm waiting for Kevin Yu to not be on the forefront of the screen. There we go.
Speak up, Tyler. Get some excitement in here.
Okay. So here we go. Sarah Liu in the championship winning position, P4. Can she hold on to it by the time this race is over? And P5 sits Joshua Worley. Can he play spoiler for Sarah Liu's championship and put her down into the dreaded P5 position? Next up is Devin Anthony. NRU and the Noobs are rushed forth. Hopefully that car won't flip. It is a GT3, but we've seen crazier things happen. And in P7, we have Megara Cizeron in the Cizeron Racing Aston Martin. Hope that car does well. It's one of the very few Astons we have on the grid tonight. Jim Reynolds in the BJ Racing Ferrari will round out the back of the Ferraris when it comes to the GT3 category. And then running the last row on the grid for the GT3s is Sir Kojay in the BMW Chill Bibble Racing 420. Blaze it, people. And rounding out the last of the GT3s, missing all his E's, that's probably why he's in last of the GT3s, is Mock Speed.
Indeed. The Mintenzilla is missing the speed.
He has no speed because he has no ease.
Well, that's one way to look at it for sure. Now out for the formation lap one last time in the season, one last time for 2025 in the multi-class series. Will it be Neil Kerbel? Will it be Sarah Liu, crowned champion after the 50-minute race tonight?
Predictions, anybody?
Not from me, that's for sure. I'm saying well out of this one.
Hey, you did well on your predictions in the GT4 category last time.
You know, and I'm going to keep it at that. I'm retiring from predictions.
Oh, do I even want to touch this? Do I even want to touch this with a 10-foot pole?
I don't think so. I don't think it's worth it. I think it's better to just enjoy what happens. out on the track.
Am I contractually obligated to give a prediction here at this point?
Contraction. Yeah, when I joined the voice chat with the drivers earlier, I'm like, well, sorry guys, commentator's curse is unfortunately here tonight.
Oh, what was their reaction?
Well, that, you know, the usual. They're used to it at this point. They know how we roll around here at Trackalicious. But I gave him a good word of advice. If you have an uneventful race, we don't say your name, we don't show you that much, so sometimes that's the best way to go about it.
Damn. You know what? I'll touch this with it. I'll touch this. Why not? I'll make a prediction here.
He just can't resist. He's a gambling man.
No. Chronotis will finish on the podium. That's a given.
Nice.
Miguel Cizeron is currently in 7th. He will finish in the top 5. And we will have a champion tonight.
Okay, I like, yeah.
What, you want more?
No, here, I'll give a prediction. I predict that it'll get dry in the last 5 minutes of the race.
Ooh, I like that one, actually.
And so going through the chase, rounding out the track, the very long street circuit here at Mount Panorama, 3.86 miles of nearly 600 feet of elevation change, and who will climb their way to the top? Will it be Neil Kerbel? Will it be Sarah Liu? Will there be any cars spoiling the parties for the GT3 championship? 50 minutes separate us from the checkered flag of the season, and we are moments away from the green lights.
Green light, show them what you got.
Off we go.
And we are away. 50 minutes on the clock, ticking away. Neil Kerbel with the lead into the first corner. Professor Chronotis challenging around the outside. The GT3s working their way through the mountain straight for the first time. Neil Kerbel getting a pretty good run out of the corner exit. And here is where the Lexus will shine with that straight line speed. Kevin Yu and Sarah Liu both gaining on Professor Chronotis. Sarah Liu having a look down the inside, but it's the two Ferraris going side by side into turn 2.
Oh, that's going to be pretty dangerous. Sarah cannot afford to get involved with this battle, at least not right now. She is in championship winning position where she sits right now. So, oh man, that is a crash in the back. Has that blocked the track? No, it hasn't. We still got cars going, but that was a Mustang, I think, of Whirly going into the wall. So there's a bunch of drivers now. I think it's just that top 4 that were safe from that. Now we probably have Devin Anthony, Miguel Cizeron, and pretty much everyone else under the sun, moon, and stars ahead. That Mustang is barely holding on and just barely faster than the GT3s right now. Beachley looking to desperately hold on. Diego thought about a move maybe going into the Little Dipper, which just sounds like an absolute disaster waiting to happen.
Oh!
And just as I speak about disaster, Diego, and I think that was another BMW of his, funny enough, of his bro. Oh, Canabrete makes contact with, and there's contact between Canabrete and I do believe Andreas. So that's going to result in Canabrete going into the wall and taking Hezi Thomas with him in the process.
Yeah, there was just so much side-by-side action there, just a lot of contact, throwing all of the cars in whichever walls come closest. And now, with the GT4s getting a little bit separated, Brian DeSantiago moves up into 3rd, behind Diego Mostachero in 2nd, getting a little bit squirrely on the exit of the chase. Brian DeSantiago might line up a move here up into 2nd, into the inside of the final corner. He just decides to pull back. Oh, and that's Beachley going into the pits!
I wonder if he has damage. Or maybe he's getting his pit stop done early because he just thinks that it's easier that way.
Yeah, maybe just getting out of the spray and hoping to find some clean bit of track. As Kevin Yu still behind Professor Chronotis, after that first lap and through the mountain. The top 4 remain the same. Miguel Cicerone there in the background moves up into the top 5. Devin Anthony 6th. Sir Kojay 7th. Jim Reynolds 8th. Joshua Worley in the pits from 9th. And then Mach Speed rounds out the GT3 field. So now with Justin Beachley in the pits, it is a fight between Diego Mostachero and Brian DeSantiago for the race lead, and it is in fact the 777 that gets ahead and maintains the top spot in the GT4 field going up the mountain.
Very, very nice from this. That one got dangerously close. We need the F1 too close to the wall graphic and see how close they get each time. Because DeSantiago looked very, very close to that wall. Ooh, that Aston's kind of slipping and sliding coming down the...
Whoa!
Oh, would that be saved from Rally Dutchy? I think it was. Oh, and there goes DeSantiago. He was sideways! Oh, no! Disaster striking! For DeSantiago, oh, he just hits the curb! Oh my goodness, that is the most fortunate bounce in the mountain I've ever seen in my life. He somehow avoided death and just spun around the right way. Ooh, this is going to be important for position. Sarah Liu trying to get as much of a buffer from 5th place as possible. Getting up to P3 will do that. Thank you, Will Buxton, for that information.
The 3rd gets more points than 4th confirmed. Just looking at the championship, or at how the points are awarded there, and yes, you are correct. 3rd gets more points than 4th. And it is tight here between the Lexus and the Ferrari, but Sarah Liu, even with finishing 4th, will maintain that top spot of the championship, so doesn't need to pull off anything risky behind the Ferrari of Kevin Yu.
Needs to not get involved if there's an incident up ahead. That's her path to victory now, is just not make any mistake. Look at how tight the GT4s are packed on your screen. Holy jumping. Like, they're all just still in this nice, neat little, like, area.
Yeah, good little gaggle of them. Well, Neil Kerbel has a 2-second lead over Professor Chronotis, who also has about a 2.5-second gap over Kevin Yu, holding on to 3rd place from Sarah Liu here in the Storm Chasers 310 Lexus as they get down to the bottom of the mountain section and onto the Conrad Straight.
Wonder. So far, I'm 3 for 3. There's going to be a champion crown. Cicerone's in the top 5, and Chronotis is in P2. So far, I'm 3 for 3.
So far, so good. We'll see. We'll have to wait for my prediction until the last 5 minutes, so have some patience. Still can happen.
I don't think it's going to be dry. We would see like a minus on the 30, I think, even by now.
You never know.
Yeah,
you never know.
Crazier things have happened. Honestly, crazier things have occurred.
Yeah, despite how bad that incident looked from the outside cameras, the damage doesn't look too substantial, at least from this outside perspective. Maybe on board with the BMW, he's got a little bit of play in the steering wheel. Let's see how he goes through. Looking pretty straight through the braking zone, so it doesn't look like there's any major suspension damage to that BMW.
Wanted to mow the lawn there for a minute, though.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, just playing with the steering a little bit, but everything looks pretty much straight there.
He is wiggling that steering wheel. He is wiggling that steering wheel a lot, trying to see if this is suspension broken, or if it's just the fact that, you know, it's wet and he's trying to control the car on the slippery surface. That also could be it, folks.
Yeah, it's very tricky to do. Dr. Porkchop is making a visit into the pit lane.
Maybe trying to cover off Beachley.
Yeah, Beachley's pretty close already, though. And
Oh, yeah,
Joshua
that's
Worley
ignored.
and Justin Beachley are finding themselves. Oh my goodness, what a save from Jim Reynolds.
Code Brown, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Code Brown. That was a little tight from Jim. Oh my goodness, it looks like the Ferrari wants to go sideways here. We've already seen 3 cars go sideways here. We've already lost 2 people to the mountain in Hezi and Carabrete. So, a lot of time still to be played. Still got 40 minutes to go, and Sarah's currently the champion by 1 point. This does feel like the Lando Norris situation.
Yeah.
Literally.
Welcome to Trackalicious. We're better than F1.
Yeah. All right. You got to take comms for a minute. My phone is ringing.
Not a problem at all. Looking on from the rear wing of Kevin Yu. Sarah Liu just staying within touching distance, but knowing that both of their pace is quicker than P5 behind, Sarah Liu just comfortable in this P4 position and just needs to maintain that consistency all the way until the checkered flag. Kevin Yu, though, does know how to have some pace. He has the lone win in a non-Lexus this season. And Professor Chronotis up in second place certainly knows how to have some pace around here in preparation for 6-hour solo race in pretty similar conditions as from what we hear, so a little practice run for him here, if you will. But in a good podium position here, about 2 seconds clear of the next Ferrari of Kevin Yu, and about 4 seconds behind the lead Lexus of Neil Kerbel, who is doing the best that he can to take the championship. And he just needs to keep this position to the end. And the 666 with an incident on the mountain, and it looks like other cars getting involved in the mix as well. Let's see what, oh my goodness, the 2 cars just parked there in a very blind part of the track. Mach Speed works his way through. Finally, Cicerone is able to get rolling as now Devin Anthony stranded in the middle of the track here. The GT4 traffic approaching soon. He will certainly want to try to get rolling quickly here. And he does just that right as Diego Mostachero approaches from the lead of the GT4s. And Sir Kojay and Jim Reynolds battling now for that top final, or for that final top 5 position. Oh my goodness, after that incident to the 666, Jim Reynolds looking to get the grip on acceleration and just power through the start-finish straight ahead of the BMW into the braking zone. Can Sir Kojay fight back down the mountain straight into turn number 2? He's getting closer and closer. Jim Reynolds defends the inside line. Does Sir Kojay have enough of an overlap here to go for that move and into the braking zone? Jim Reynolds stays ahead, runs a little bit deep, opens up the apex for Sir Kojay, but into this next corner, it is very tricky to go side by side in the dry conditions, let alone in the wet. Oh, and there's a bit of a wall tap from Sir Kojay on the outside of the cutting. Miguel Cicerone and Devin Anthony visiting the pits after their incident at Forest's Elbow, or just before Forest's Elbow. As they continue, Sarah dropping back a little bit from Kevin Yu here. Maybe a little bit of a mistake on the mountain from the Lexus, but still in a good position here. as Joshua Worley begins to approach the GT4 field after coming in for the early pit stop, having a little bit of damage after an incident at that corner there, the cutting. Started in a good qualifying position, now just using his race pace after completing that mandatory pit stop, fixing a little bit of damage as well, and a very tricky spot to catch up to the GT4s and get through, but he does just that ahead of Brian DeSantiago, still yet to visit the pits and fix the damage on the front of that 777 BMW. So as it stands, Diego Mostachero leads the GT4s with Andres in second, and then Rally Dutchy rounds out the podium in the 621 Ginetta. The 420 BMW takes a visit to the pits after that battle with Jim Reynolds on the previous lap. Going the way of the Ferrari, Mach Speed joining in the Nissan. Joining the pits, that is. As the GT3 cars of Devin Anthony, Mach Speed, and Sir Kojay get serviced. Rest of the field out on track, going through at racing speed. There's the lead Aston Martin in the GT4s, Diego Mostachero, then second place BMW of Andres Mostachero, and then Rally Dutchy in the Ginetta, about to be swarmed by the Mustang of Joshua Worley. You can really see the speed difference here between the GT3s and the GT4s. Only 7 GT4s. Yes, we lost 2 earlier due to an incident. There were 9. Dropping back to 7. Tyler Asherle in the lone Camaro, visiting the pits in the 665. Joining Mach Speed. As Neil Kerbel continues to extend his gap at the front, it is now at 7 seconds to Professor Chronotis, but that is pretty close to the wall there from the Lexus as he was trying to get ahead of Justin Beachley in the number 18 AMG of the GT4 field. And there might even be a little bit of front-end damage on the front of the Lexinomicon. With Neil Kerbel encountering a little bit of traffic, that has closed the gap to Professor Chronotis by a pretty considerable amount. It's now down to about 5 seconds. And with 33 minutes still on the clock, the overlap will happen once more between the GT3s and the GT4s. So still lots can happen here.
There's been a lot of wall touching.
It certainly has.
Yeah, I kind of overheard that through my speakers. Had the big one, eh?
Who? What?
Oh, stop go for stop go for Astral, by the way.
Yeah, he
did we
just
have the big
received
one?
that.
Their own?
Oh, yeah. They're all still in the race, at least. He was just kind of stuck there with the field going through.
There goes my prediction out the goddamn window.
Hey, still lots of race to go. Still plenty of racing to go.
Yeah, it's kind of... You're right, but also, maybe...
Plenty of racing, mixed conditions, lots of walls. Sarah Liu going deep at turn 1.
Yay, her 31-second gap is now going to be a 30-second gap.
Well, you know, if lucky for her, it happened at turn 1 where there's a little bit of runoff. If that happens at the cutting, the wall's right there to greet you.
Hey, if there's a time and a place to go off, it's there, I guess.
100%. There's the turn 1 and the final 3 corners are the only place where there is some margin for error. A little bit of one at Skyline as well, with that slight little bit of runoff there. But apart from that, there's really not much. At the top of the hill here, there's that gravel trap, but the wall is so close to the gravel trap, and you're approaching this corner at such high speed, nearly flat out in 5th gear for a lot of these GT3 cars. And if you lose it there, that wall comes up quick.
I was about to say, I'm more worried about if like you lose control of the car going like down and to the right, because that wall is so there to greet you that even if you hit the brakes, it's not quick enough and you just hit the wall.
And there's walls left and right here. Super tricky to get the perfect lap here, but that's not what matters. What matters is getting through cleanly. Doesn't need to be the prettiest lap. It doesn't need to be the perfect lap. It just needs to be one where your car survives, stays completely intact, and is able to challenge for another go-around. Still about half of the field yet to complete the mandatory pit stop, so field a little bit jumbled up.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of jumbling here.
And then also with some cars picking up some damage, bless you. So we got some GT3s behind some GT4s for position on track. But I don't suspect the GT4s will fight for those positions too hard.
If they do, they're crazy. Like, genuinely crazy. I get it, we're on the mountain, but that's just crazy.
You never know what can happen. Sir Koj, one of those drivers approaching some GT4 cars. Tyler Asherle directly in front of him. And then he's got the 3 podium sitters at the time being in Rally Duchy. Andres Mostachero and Diego Mostachero out in the lead of the GT4s. But those 3 have still yet to complete a mandatory pit stop, as they're the BMW at the top of Skyline gets through the Camaro of Tyler Asherle.
So who got mixed up? Who got mixed up with the Cicerone?
Who got mixed up? Cicerone, got mixed up, and Devin Anthony alongside him in the Porsche. They were kind of making a little bit of a chicane, if you will, for the rest of the cars to go through.
Oh, that's not nice.
No. Well, they also couldn't really move anywhere because then they kind of get in each other's way and then block the entire track completely. So full respect to them for waiting for the grid to go through and trying to make that situation go through as cleanly as possible. Just looking at the pit stop time, Sir Koj had a slightly longer pit stop, as did Mach Speed. So perhaps those two getting involved in that incident as well. Yes, this is Miguel Cicerone with Mach Speed going through Justin Beachley. Mika Hakkinen.
Wait a minute.
Oh my goodness, around the outside there is such a tricky move to get done, but Miguel Cicerone gets it done and moves ahead of Mach Speed. Oh goodness.
Oh, never mind, you should.
What happened there?
You replay that if you want. It's available.
What happened there?
Because like he makes the overtake on Cronotis. That's easy. He then goes round the outside.
That's crazy to keep the car under control there. But then what happens here? The car just doesn't turn. What happened? It almost looks like there's a loss of like steering.
Like did the wheel move?
The wheel did move, but I wonder if Miguel was putting in more wheel input and the game just wasn't detecting any.
Yeah, because it doesn't look like the curb locked him into his position. Like maybe his wheels spun and like he just couldn't get the throttle to turn. But like, that's so weird.
It
like,
almost didn't seem like the car was understeering either. It almost seems like it was just gliding and like hydroplaning off in that direction.
Does the ACC physics have hydroplaning?
It does in spots, but right there wouldn't really be. It wouldn't be that wet there. Only on a flooded track would you really see that.
I was about to say, the track's not even flooded. It's wet. There's not a dry line, but there's a line you can see on the track right now.
Yeah, tracks like Paul Ricard down that long straight, there's patches of puddles where if you hit them wrong, you can certainly send your car spinning off. I've had that happen before. And so it's certainly possible to hydroplane through. Mach speed goes deep at Forrest's elbow, allowing Miguel Cicerone the easy inside line, and he will not have to replicate that difficult pass around the outside into the chase as he maintains position ahead of the Nissan going through the Conrad Straight.
Yeah, that was definitely a ooh, I'm like, see the Aston again, it's just seemingly struggling. This is gonna allow Mach Speed at least an opportunity, at least a look, but he's gonna elect not to and just hold serve for right now and maybe hope that the Aston will make another few mistakes. And that is Sarah pitting from P3. Cronotis pit already.
Cronotis did in fact pit already. No new tires for Professor Cronotis. Andres Mostachero in the pits as well from second place on the grid. Justin Beachley does get through, so at least the number 18 AMG is back to a podium position for the time being.
Oh, dude. Where's Worley gonna come out? And really, oh nope, Sarah's already on the move. Oh wait, no, nope, no, she isn't just yet. Oh, now Sarah's on the move.
Sarah's on the move, and it's a quick
Worley,
exit to the pits.
Yeah, so Worley is like about a full 3 corners ahead.
Behind.
Ahead, yeah. It's at 10:30 Eastern. I'm tired. It's my bedtime. That's my defense against the dark arts here.
Oh, that's totally fine.
However, Worley does get into the top 5.
Yeah, he does get back with Jim Reynolds still in the pit lane in the 313, and he has the last pit box, so it is a very quick exit for him back out onto the track.
He probably doesn't even need to activate his pit limiter.
Yeah, honestly.
Especially in the wet, those tires are going to have no grip at all. So currently Dutchy and DeSantiago are leading in the GT4.
There's some damage on the front of Neil Kerbel's car as he enters the pit lane.
He's been tapping the wall a lot. Oh,
that is a significant amount of damage, though.
I was about to say that's not a wall tap. That is like you ate the front end of someone's car.
Yeah, or a solid concrete barrier.
Yeah, so I wonder if he's gonna get that repaired. Can he even get that repaired? Not with Cronotis being as close as he is.
Well, not if he wants to. Yeah, you're right. Not if he wants to maintain the lead of the race. Oh no, Neil says death.
Oh no, bro. Love how he's getting pit like fixed up in the pits, but he goes into the chat to just type death.
I mean, we appreciate the insight. Kevin, you already dropped and rolling as he will go ahead of Kevin. There's Professor Cronotis. So the number 42 Ferrari gets the position ahead of Neil Kerbel and out into the race lead.
And that's Sarah passing Kerbel. That's a death sentence for his championship there.
Oh, no. A minute 30 of damage. That's, yeah, you got to fix that. You can't.
You can't drive without that. He's going to be exposed to Worley here now, too.
Yeah, but look who's in the lead of the GT4s. It's Justin Beachley. After all of the other drivers elected to go long, Justin Beachley came in quickly.
Oh, he was meatballed, too.
Ah, yeah. That'll do it.
Okay, well, now you have to.
Yeah, right?
You don't have a choice now.
You certainly do not.
It's a tough way to go.
Yeah, right. Beachley in the lead, ahead of Diego Mostachero, who's ahead of Andres, and then Rally Duchy in fourth, about 5 seconds back, but having some pretty good pace in that Ginetta, was riding up in a podium position for a little bit as well.
I wonder if Sir Kojay's going to be able to get by Kerbal here. Nope, off Kerbal goes.
Yeah,
Kerbal down all
behind
the way
Jim
down
Reynolds and Josh
sixth.
Worley.
Ouch. Yeah, even if Sarah like DNFs now, I think she still holds this title based off where Kerbal's sitting.
Yeah, because Sarah's worst position in the championship is 10th. And so if she finishes below that, she will at least get the points for finishing 10th. And yeah, Neil Kerbal, unfortunately, with that significant meatball amounts of damage, having to go back to the pits to fix that up.
Well, if he's not in the championship, I have a feeling I know what he's to do.
Hot lap.
No, he's about to find out why you are supposed to brake when going down this hill. He might do it on the final lap, though.
Yeah, I wonder where it happened as well. Oh, and right as you say it.
No, that's not what I meant. Kerbal knows exactly what I mean, what he's about to do. Kerbal, if you decide to do it, type in the Twitch chat beforehand so we can switch to the camera. As you switch off of him, because you know.
Well, I don't think he's gonna do it with 20 minutes to go.
That's a yellow flag. Who's that for?
Miguel Cicerone.
Ah! How badly damaged is the
Exiting
car?
Reed Park
It
and
doesn't
then
look
through
that
Frog
bad.
Hollow. He might have just gone sideways there and avoided all of the walls, because yeah, it looks pretty unscathed there from the outside. Not anymore though, after taking the curb, and the nose goes right into the left-hand wall.
That Aston's not going to look pretty nice anymore. That Aston's going to be quite sad. Very, very sad. A quick side note. The tallest player to score in NCAA history in basketball is 7'9".
Imagine trying to fit him into one of these cars.
7'9". He can't fit in most doorways. Bro has to walk in on his knees. There's no crouching.
Yeah, Mach Speed also might have been involved in that incident with the yellow flag we saw earlier on, because he is taking another visit down the pit lane here.
How would that work sleeping in a bed? Like, I'm genuinely asking. Maybe the chat has the answer, because like, I don't. Damn, Sarah P3 with the championship all but one.
Flashing the hazards.
Barring an absolute collapse. Get Chronotis to flash the hazards at us.
See? Hazards. Full display.
Yeah, I think it's been on the entire time.
Yep.
I think that's their. Hey, I'm right here. Easier to see the flashing lights in the mist.
Sarah's like, I'm a hazard. Watch out.
Oh, Miguel Cicerone bumped the wall there again.
Yeah, picking up a little bit of damage, just losing a little bit of front end grip. And the car not gripping the same as it did on the previous lap there for the 666. And now on this lap picking up a little bit more damage, so it certainly won't feel the same as it goes through that part of the track once more on the next lap.
Thanks, Will Buxton.
Yep.
Oh, man. realistically, if you think about it, every sentence could technically be no, well, not every sentence, but most sentences are Will Buxton sentences.
Oh, you can drag on a sentence forever doing the Will Buxton method.
Oh my God, yeah, you could have like an entire conversation based off that. Would this be Professor Kronos' first win in the multi-class?
What happened to Neil? Neil picked up a significant amount of damage somewhere along the track. We didn't see exactly what happened. We just saw that Lexus going down the pits and had about 1 minute 30 seconds of damage and had to return to the pits to get that fixed. And unfortunately, that dropped him from the lead to 6th in the 395 Lexus now. Oh, and Cicerone once again going over those curbs. Just not favorable with the Aston Martin.
Rest in peace to my Aston, and I think he's gone. No, he's still there. He's just sad. Sad and in the wall. Oh, speaking of which, there's another yellow flag. That's for 145, I think, of Mach speed. See, you know what? He's done this to himself. I normally don't like saying that about other drivers, but you've done it to yourself. Do you know why? You took away your ease. That is the punishment, and that is the price you pay.
And Neil Kerbel there going through with Jim Reynolds.
Oh, hello. Hey,
let's take a rewind and see what happened here. Jim Reynolds is the car ahead, and he is already damaged going up until this point.
Oh, that's heavy damage. Oh, I think Kerbel had to take avoiding action.
Oh, he certainly did.
Oh, and there's another car off on the... Is there like an oil slick out there?
It's very well possible, but yeah, that's decent avoidance from Neil Kerbel.
Oh, well,
and of course, Jim Reynolds probably didn't really have a whole lot of control of his car with how badly damaged it looked.
Yeah, he was probably locked into that position and was probably like, I'm sorry, Kerbel, I'm sorry, Kerbel, I can't do anything. Like, he literally, like, if he moves his car at any point during that point, he's going into a wall again.
Mm-hmm.
So he is literally locked into that position and praying that Kerbel does not further add to his injuries.
Another yellow flag here briefly for Mach speed, and there is some front-end damage on that Nissan as well. So 35 minutes into the race, we are seeing quite some moments there. Mach speed heavily into the wall with the right-hand side of his Nissan. My goodness.
We have another yellow flag. That was for the 665 of Ashroll up in the mountains section. Ever so briefly. I wonder if Mach Speed's gonna come in and get this taken care of. I wonder if he's being meatballed. He's gonna have to, I think. I think as soon as the hood comes up, they get meatballed.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of how much suspension damage they pick up as well, because that ultimately controls how well you can steer the car. And without any steering abilities, you are certainly quite a hazard out on track with unpredictable left and right direction changes.
Professor Kanota's so far nice and easy. It's a Sunday drive for him right now.
Yeah, getting a little bit slowed down here in the mountain by the Alpine of Dr. Porkchop. And in this section, there's just no easy way to go through.
Now there is, though.
Now there is, but the gap has shrunk between himself and Kevin Yu, between the lead Ferraris.
Yawn and stretch, folks. Yawn and stretch. Oh, I think Cicerone's in the wall again. Is that the 666? Oh. Correct, because Cicerone is no longer on our timing screen. God bless his soul as the mountain claims yet another victim. All right, folks. What do
Yeah,
we
well,
have
Devin
now?
Anthony. Yeah, sorry, with Devin Anthony here, just switched over. And then, yeah, so he just got through Rally Dutchy to get back into the top 10 in the GT3s and still working his way through the podium sitters of the GT4s. And so he could potentially find himself as high as 7th if he can get ahead of Justin Beachley before 12 minutes expire from the race.
Is this a battle for position? It is, surprisingly.
Technically, yes, but once, like we said, I don't think the GT4s are going to be fighting for their position
would.
versus the GT3s too hard.
I would.
Right, but...
You're telling me you wouldn't?
No. What's the point?
You gotta show some passion, some effort.
Well, in doing so, Andres has slowed himself down enough to where Rally Dutchy is now right
Podium?
on his tail.
Is this for a podium? I think it is.
It is, yes. It 100% is. Sorry, Pocket, didn't see that message earlier, and they're side by side. The action just keeps interrupting this as Rally Dutchy is gonna go through and into the wall, opening up the inside for the BMW, and they're still wheel banging, going up the steep section of the mountain.
Side by side here. No, you're both gonna the wall.
What a move! What great racing between these two!
They're still side by side. Oh my God.
And the Janetta goes through!
Holy jumping!
He's able to stick it around the outside of the entire uphill section and gets the move ahead of the BMW. Can he maintain this place?
Yes.
10 minutes left. Will we see the Janetta on the podium here in the last round?
Oh my God. What happened to Neil? Yeah, he died. Yeah, he's losing the championship. It's gonna go to Sarah at this rate. Wow, that was. Oh, that. If only we could get a highlight reel package up and running in the next 2 minutes and just show that. That was nail biting at its finest hour right there, folks.
All the way up the mountain, side by side, and the car around the outside gets it done.
Dude, they were going side by side up, going like literally going up that right-hander. I thought for sure this is it. Either one or both of them were going to die there.
And at one point, too, it looked like Rally Dutchy got ahead through Quarry Corner, but then the BMW just fought back for position down the inside, but ultimately couldn't fight back enough, and the battle goes the way of Rally Dutchy, but still 9 minutes left on the clock for Andres to fight for that final podium position in the GT4s.
Anything can happen at Bathurst. Especially at Bathurst.
Two Ferraris in the lead of the GT3s are getting pretty close here, within 2 seconds of each other.
Ferrari 1-2.
And they are approaching some GT4 cars up ahead as well.
Never would see this in F1 ever. I think I made some Ferrari fans mad in about 3 seconds.
The true Ferrari fans support the WEC program where they win everything.
I was about to say, yeah, you want Ferrari success, watch WEC.
Yeah.
You wanna be absolutely sad and hate your life, watch F1. That is literally the solvement of all problems. They're in the same machinery, so like, the only difference is sorry folks, the only difference is really setup. What, like, You already need a high downforce setup when you're at Bathurst. Now what do you need in the wet, though?
It really depends on how wet it is. If there's too much water, you want to raise that ride height a little bit to avoid any hydroplaning. Potentially close down the brake ducts since the temperatures are a little bit lower.
What is the speed limit on this road again, you said?
I think it's 60 kilometers an hour.
I was about to say, yeah, I think it would be...
That's what, around... That's like 35 miles an hour?
Yeah, somewhere around-ish. I thought that'd be slower considering, you know... You're going faster and you miss a curb or miss the road, you just, you know, go off into the quarry.
Yeah, you certainly can. So all those service roads at the sides typically lead to houses or neighborhoods. There you can see a few of them on the side of the road there off to the right. And so yeah, people just live here year-round, and then they close it for the few events that they host throughout the year, the Bathurst 1000 being one of them, held for the V8 Supercar Championship in October, and then the Bathurst 12-hour for the GT cars in February.
I wonder why it's not a 24-hour. Why is it a 12? Why is it not a 24?
It's got to be crazy driving Bathurst at night. They do start it right at sunrise to make it a little bit tricky for the drivers, but yeah, I imagine it's just that peak darkness around the mountain would be
not safe.
Oh yeah, just not very safe, considering also that the track itself is only an FIA grade 3 track.
Really? Really? It's only grade 3?
Yes.
That'd be grade 2? Wow. And yet Albert Park is a grade 1.
Correct. They have runoff. But so, you know, technically, you know, Monaco is also technically grade 1.
But it has no runoff.
Exactly, yeah, so...
Well, actually, I lie, it does. It has a runoff in turn 1, turn, like, just before you get to the hairpin. There's, like, maybe 3 or 4 areas that are, like, pull-offable. But, like, yeah, like... Now, would you want to see F1 cars raced at Bathurst? No, because it would literally just... Can you imagine Max Verstappen taking the dipper?
That certainly would be fun to see.
Well, if he races in like WEC and Endurance Series, we might get to see that opportunity. I just can't believe
that would be kind of cool to see. I certainly agree with you there.
I just can't believe he just destroyed everyone else that was in a GT3 car when he did his GT3 test.
Oh, I'm not surprised. That man is crazy fast in anything you give him. Yeah, surprisingly, the Nürburgring combined layout is also an FIA grade 3. And yes, I agree, Dave. No one is accusing the FIA of consistency. Monaco's probably just championed in for being historic. Yeah.
I would agree with you on that.
Yeah, and just there's just no way around it.
Unfortunately,
nothing you can do to change the layout there. You can't really demolish the town in hopes of building a good circuit. There's a yellow flag for Devin Anthony in the 664 Porsche.
He's taking pork chop with him. Replay! Pork chop already spun around? Oh, well, we're going to have the answer to this question real fast.
Oh!
Oh, I think I know what happened. Pork chop hit the wall and just... Oh, God, Beasley!
He was approaching those cars quick. Same with Diego Mostachero. And there, right as we tune in, everybody trying to get their cars pointed in the correct direction.
And they're all eventually... Oh, there's a yellow flag there, though. That's for the 145 speed. He's also in a...
Oh, no!
Oh, no! That's Jim Reynolds' hit! Oh, God. Look at the... Oh, that car is so sad. Replay Jim Reynolds just absolutely getting...
Oh, man.
I think that was just an unfortunate thing by Reynolds that he was just kind of locked into where he was.
Yeah, that Nissan is heavy damage. He cannot get around the track, and same with the Ferrari as well.
Oh, man, that's...
You hate to see it.
Oh, that's rough to see.
Especially in the closing minutes of the race. One lap to go, though.
The final lap. Give it all you can.
So, to give everyone what I was talking about Kerbal earlier. So, we've made a video back.
Well, Tyler, you kind of cut out there, so...
Yep. Oh, yeah. I got disappeared. Sorry about that, folks. Kerbal just... We decided that instead of braking for the dipper, we'd just drive straight, and then as soon as you hit the cusp, you flat turn the wheel to the right. Or just go straight on, depending on how you want to do things.
The window is closing down.
And you send your car to the stratosphere. Like, we got the Kerbal's car to go into a telephone pole.
This isn't the Kerbal Space Program. That's not what you do here.
That's what I want.
Well, maybe we'll see it on the final lap here from the 395 Lexus.
I doubt it, though. There's a little bit too much. It's not. We did that in a practice session, mind you. That's Jim. Oh no, he's weeping. Oh no.
He's getting his tires warmed up for it.
Oh god, if I see him do this, is gonna be an absolute mad lad of send. Oh no, it's Dr. Port Chop in the sad mobile.
Same corner too.
I just think he's just trying to limp this car home, literally nothing else more.
Yeah, I do agree with you there. Professor Chronotis has held on to the race lead after the Lexus of Neil Kerbal suffering a bit of damage. Had the pace to challenge the Lexus, started from the front row, and he will finish on the top spot with just one corner to left before seeing the checkered flag. Professor Chronotis will... He sure is. Diego doesn't want to do another lap. And there is Professor Chronotis crossing the line. Maybe Diego was out of fuel there.
No, he's still driving.
But that position is going to be given up to Rally Dutchy, who's going to move up to second place in the GT4s because he did not get lapped by Professor Chronotis.
Ooh. Wow. Interesting. Yeah, Kerbal didn't do the thing either. Kind of sad.
You don't know that.
What do you mean? I would... oh, that's a board. Oh, he might go for the jump, though.
Yeah. That's what we're here for.
God.
So Chronotis out on top, Kevin Yu in second, Sarah Liu takes a podium in the final race, but ultimately will take the championship in the multi-class winter season of 2025. Josh Worley in fourth after coming into the pits early on, and Neil Kerbal here will round out the top five with Jim Reynolds suffering a bit of damage, finishing in 13th place. Second place in the championship for Neil Kerbal, though. A good finishing spot in a long season. And the second place finisher in the GT4s. The race winner tonight, Justin Beachley, goes across the line for the final time of 2025. And give a big round of applause to the 621 of Rally Dutchy from the rookies in the Nine-Tail Racing, showing off his skills in the multi-class. A clean and consistent drive from the Ginetta. We'll see Rally Dutchy finishing in second place in the GT4s.
What a race by Rally Dutchy. Has had some unbelievable heartbreaking bad moments, but a P9, a top 10 finish,
Top 10 overall,
class?
P2 in class, man. You can't beat that.
Nope, no, you cannot. I'll leave you to the interviews. I gotta get going, but thanks for having me, and maybe see you guys next year.
Thanks for joining, Tyler. Happy holidays to you. If I don't see you until then.
I have a feeling you will.
Probably. And look at that, a dry session.
Go, go, go.
And yes, please, podium sitters, join us in the green room for a quick chat of how your race went and how your season went as a whole as well. Diego Mostachero joining from the GT4 field. Hello, Diego. How are you doing, my friend?
Ah, that was such a disaster.
Yeah, what happened at the end there? You just slowed down? You had to slow down there for the race leader, or what happened?
I wasn't gonna make another lap of fuel, so
yes.
I had to wait by the finish line and wait for the GT3 to pass, and then I could go. But Andres was right behind that person, so I had to inch forward so slowly.
Yeah, you had to calculate it perfectly, huh?
Yeah.
Well, still able to get that podium position. So well done there. How was it there? How was that out on the track? It looked pretty miserable, nice and wet. Good old Bathurst.
I was telling Beachley at the end there, I would see his time delta go from 5 seconds, and then it went to 2 seconds. I was like, oh, there's hope. And then I crashed.
Oh no. That's how, yeah, that seems like that's how the story went. We got Justin Beachley joining us as well, winning the race. Welcome, Justin and Professor Chronotis and Sarah Liu from the GT3s. Sticking to the GT4s, Justin, you went in for the early pit stop and came out on top after everybody else pitted.
Yeah, that was accidental. In my preparation, the last time I went out during practice, I had dry tires on the car to like get the pressures down in case we had a mixed race. And of course, I'm joking in voice chat like, oh man, I was thinking about doing last to first, and maybe not such a good idea in the rain. And then I had dry tires on.
And that's exactly what happened.
I realized as my brakes were warming up and my tires were not, I'm like, oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Terribly wrong. And yeah, fortunately managed to survive the first lap at least, and kept the lead, which was, something in itself. So, once I got in the pits and got wet tires on, I knew I had a chance. I knew I felt like I had the pace to at least sit on the podium, but as soon as I saw Diego come out of the pits behind me, I'm like, well, I guess that's that. And then, he did catch up a couple of times. I made a couple small mistakes, got swarmed by GT3s a couple of times, and made it interesting for sure. But glad I was able to recover, come out with the win.
Yeah, certainly. We were saying, I think, with Tyler earlier on too, with pitting that early on, you kind of out of all the traffic, you're out of the spray, you're not racing anybody. You can just kind of put in some consistent laps and kind of gain a little bit of time here and there, while all the other cars can't see, battling each other, losing time. So yeah, just what turned out to be unluck, and it ended up being a pretty good strategy call in the end there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my goal was to at least stay in front lap one, and then once the GT3s got out of there, the spray would have dissipated pretty quickly. But yeah, it ended up being pretty pretty lonely there for most of the race. I really didn't battle with anybody. Just had to deal with traffic,
Yeah.
a couple times, and that was about it. So, yeah,
That's how it goes with the early pit stop. And battling with Diego too. I think you guys had some pretty good battles earlier on in the season as well, and almost picked it up at the end here too. And yeah, unlucky there for Diego with running out of fuel, but still coming out on the podium with great timing with the GT3s and how it worked there.
If that's the way I get my first podium, I'll take it.
That's how it goes sometimes. And Professor Chronotis couldn't have timed his finish more perfectly with how you needed it to go there. Well done, Mr. Professor Chronotis, for the top spot in the GT3s.
I owe it all to Neil Kerbal.
That's fair. You had the pace, though, early on to challenge at points. Did you think you could have lined him up for a move in those first opening laps?
Well, for the first 3 laps, I was staying within 2.5 seconds, but then it turned to 3 and then to 4 and then to 5. And by the time it was 5, I knew that he was slowly driving away, and that was just going to be the way of it. He was going to survive or not, and that's all there was to it. So that came out for me. I was getting pressured by Kevin Yu a bunch there, and coming into the pit stop phase, I saw the GT4s ahead on track, and most of them stayed out. So I decided to pit early to avoid going up behind them on the mountain. And Kevin Yu stayed out. And then by the time he finally pit, I had a bigger gap on him, which lasted until I got stuck behind Pork Chop on the downhill and got a little bit of damage finding a wall on the way down. And from that point on, the pressure was on for the last 15 minutes of the race. It was kind of sweaty.
Yeah, it seemed like it. He was keeping it close there within 2 seconds from the final 10 minutes. And so, yeah, certainly kept you on your toes there.
Done. I had understeer going everywhere.
Did you not change tires during the pit stop?
I did not. And I took some front right corner damage.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn out of the dipper.
That will do it.
Trying to swoop underneath the GT4.
That's how it goes sometimes, especially with here. There's absolutely no runoffs in the mountain. And you just got to pick your moments and hope for the best at points. There was one point we tuned in, I believe, with the Alpine, and it tapped the outside wall at Forest Sebo and just went into the car alongside. So, yeah, certainly very tight around there. Sarah Liu battling with those Ferraris at the front of the field at the beginning of the race, and then ended up being a podium for you and the championship win as well.
Oh, yeah, thanks. But it's still a tough race. It's actually my first race in Mount Panorama. And so I actually kept making mistakes. I do have some solid pace, but I just can't control myself for hitting the wall. I have over 30 seconds damage on my on my car. Yeah. Yeah,
you kept the pace. Still very well done for your first time out here. Keeping pretty close to the Ferraris in the first phase of the race. Almost looked like you were challenging Kevin Yu for a move for a podium early on as well.
Yeah, I tried. I really tried. It's just I tried to use my top speed advantage, but Ferrari is just very good at braking, so it has a mega advantage in the downhill. So I just can't follow up, and I would say the rain is another reason. If I kept too close to the car in front of me, I just simply can't see where to brake. So I had to let go a little bit and then chase up a little bit. So I was, in that interval. But finally, I got very bad pit entry. So.
Well, that's how it goes sometimes. But still had the consistency all season long to take the championship win. Well done to you there. Congrats
thank you.
on that. And we look forward to having all of you guys back for the next season, which is already open for signups. Thank you, Justin, Diego, Sarah, and Professor Chronotis for joining us for a quick chat. hope you guys had a good season and enjoy the holiday break coming up before the 2026 season starts up.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yep, thank you.
Not a
Booted.
problem at all. Happy to host the races here on Twitch, sometimes YouTube, and ACC iRacing, sometimes Le Mans Ultimate as well. The seasons of 2025 coming to a close. The 2-race Le Mans Ultimate Championship, the second of those races on Friday. If you want to get signed up for that and any of the 2026 championship, from the ACC rookies on Mondays to the Multiclass on Wednesdays, which will have a new format. It is switching up from the 50-minute one pit stop races to 75 minutes with 2 mandatory pit stops. And so sign up for that on SimGrid. !SimGrid will take you there. !Discord to stay up to date with all of the latest news and information. Check the Trackalicious website for any track days coming up in the next year and any sort of shirts, hats, other fun stuff for sale. Christmas right around the corner. Good time to get a gift for a motorsports fan in your life. And with that being said, we hope you all enjoyed the championship this season and the season finale here at Mount Panorama. Enjoy the holidays coming up. Quick break from sim racing. Maybe some of you will get some new sim racing gear, get to test it out here. Join us at Trackalicious. Welcome, or anybody is welcome, I should say, to join any and all of the championships hosted here at Trackalicious. Tyler Morgan alongside me earlier. I'm Kuja Terekov. Thank you, as always, to all of the admins doing the hard work and managing the series in the background, making sure everything runs nice and smoothly for us all to enjoy the racing. Gonna get a raid set up here of some fellow sim racers doing some iRacing. Stick around, spread the love from one sim racing community to another. Thank you, as always, for joining us tonight and any other night here at Trackalicious. Always happy to have you here. Hope you have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you may be joining us from. Thank you, as always, for joining us tonight, and we will see you next time.